Okay, welcome everyone to another class on web design. So on today's lecture, we'll be discussing how to create a website from the scratch, from the beginning. How to create your HTML website and style it using CSS. So we'll start right now. So we'll start from our body. Then after that, we style the body using our CSS in the head section. Okay, so we're trying to create a typical website. So we brought our H2. So the H2 will display CSS layout. So our H2 is CSS layout float. So our paragraph is, in this example, we have created a header, 2 column boxes, so the paragraph is actually displaying what we are doing. The H2 is actually displaying what we are also doing, so that we can actually understand better. So when you're creating your website, you can put your business name, your company name. You can edit this. So our H2 has CSS layout float. Then our paragraph is, in this example, we have created a header, 2 column stroke boxes and a footer. So on smaller screens, the columns will stack on top of each other. So let us see how. Let's see what we are trying to create. Okay, we are trying to create a website like this. So this is what we're trying to create. Alright, so as you can see, the header, you can see the article in the nav section, you can see the footer. Alright, so let's continue our work. So I'm trying to create something like that. So this is our H2. So this is what we have done so far. We've done the H2 and the paragraph. So let's continue. So let's bring a header. So the header will display cities, as we saw from the example. So we want our header to display cities, and we're using H2 for the header. So the top side will display, so we have the header, we have the footer, and we have the main section. And so now we're creating a section. So inside that section we have our navigation. So we're trying to list some things, but we want to be unordered. So you create your section, open your nav, open your unlisted, then in between your unlisted, so create list. So we're trying to create a link. So that is ahref. So we're creating the link for London. Okay, let's do for another city. So href, then this hash. So let's put Paris. Let's create for another one. So href. So we're putting this in the navigation. Since we created a header with our h2, we are creating a navigation. So we're having another section, and we're putting all this London, Paris, Tokyo in one of the sections there, right? So let's reload and see. So the header is showing city, then this section here is showing London, Paris and Tokyo. So let's continue and see. So everything is step by step. The first thing is to actually, like we did, created our h2 paragraph, then header. Okay, so right now we're trying to create a navigation. We're creating a list and I'll put it in our nav section. So created for London, Paris and Tokyo. Then please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so now. Okay, kindly do so, kindly like and give a comment. Thank you very much. So let's continue the work. So you have to pay close attention to this, because everything we do here is of importance. You have to pay close attention. All right, so we are bringing article. So inside the article is in the section, right? So in the section we have the navigation and we have the article. So for the article we have h1, and our h1 is London. Then the paragraph is London is the city. London is the capital city of England. It is the most populous city in the United Kingdom, with a metropolitan area. over 13 million inhabitants. So we are creating an article. Article has H1 London. The paragraph is London is the capital city of England. It is the most. So let's reload. So this is our article here, and we have our navigation: London, Paris, Tokyo. So London is the capital city of England. It is the most populous city in the United Kingdom, with a metropolitan area of over 13 million inhabitants. Okay, so let's continue. So we're through with this section, right? In our section we have the nav and the article. So the footer is what will be below. So we are saying our footer should have a paragraph of footer. So let's reload. So that is our footer there. So the next thing we'll do, we'll try to style what we've done so far in our head section using CSS styling. So at the end of this we'll try to explain at the end. Try to explain what each styling actually means. So for now, let's just follow the steps and pay close attention to every detail. So let's go to our head section to style this. So our head section, let's introduce our style. So we're using the internal styling, right? So let's bring our style. So we're using the universal selector, which is star. So the star actually affects everything in the web page, everything. So when you use star is to select everything. So we're saying box sizing, border box. Let's reload. Okay, no effect so far. Let's continue. So we're selecting the body. So let's give the font family. So let's select this family. Arial, Helvetica, or sans serif, whichever one is present will display. So let's bring a comment, a CSS comment, to help us understand the things we are trying to do. Okay, so let's style the header. So we're trying to, in our styling, we'll look at two different aspects or two different forms of design. So after this pattern, we'll do another pattern. So let's just continue first. So let's style the header. So you call in the header as a selector. So let's give it a, so we're trying to style our header. So let's give it a background color. So we want to display this particular color. So if you want to display that particular color, you put #666. Let's give it a padding of 30 pixel. Then let's put text align center. We want the text to be at the center. So let's give it a font size of 35 pixel and want the text color to be white. So always put your semicolon at the end. So let's reload. Yeah, we've styled our header. Our header is cities, so I've styled it. I've given the background color of somehow gray, then the padding of 30 pixel, then the font size of 35 pixel, then the color is white. So you can confirm, you can change the font size to see the effect it will make. You can change the padding to see the effect it will make. Okay, the difference it will make. By so doing, you can understand better. Because if you're having challenges in understanding the differences between these styles we just gave, you can just change the figures, the numbers given to them, and see how they will change. So like I said, we will do a two pattern. So we're actually dealing with the first pattern. So in this one, we are saying create two columns or boxes that float next to each other. So let's call in our nav. We created a link containing Tokyo, Paris, and London, and we put it in a nav. So we're trying to create a two column or two boxes that float next to each other. We're trying to put them in a box. We're trying to put the article and our navigation in a box. So we're trying to control how it should show. So we're saying that the nav should float to the left side, then the width should be 30%, then the height should be 300 pixel, So let's give it a background. So we want the background to be this particular color. So we use #CCC. If you want this exact color, you put your semicolon. So we want the padding to be 20 pixels. So let's reload and see the effect. Alright, so you can see our navigation. We gave it a height, right? So that's why it's like this. So that's our article. So I'm still trying to style it actually. So let's continue. Let's bring another comment. So let's style the list inside the menu. So open your nav. You know we have a list which is Tokyo, London, and Paris. The unordered list. So the list style. List style type. We want it to be none. We want the padding to be padding to be 0. So let's reload. Okay, so you can see there's an effect to that place. So we want the padding to be 0. That means the gap from the content itself to the border to be 0. So let's do other things. So let's type the article. So we want the article to float. You know our navigation will said I want the article to float left. Padding should be 20 pixels. The width should be 70%. Then the background color. Let's give it this background color. F1, F1, F1. So put your semicolon. So height 300 pixel. So let's reload. Okay, I think it's making sense so far. So do what I've done so far. Our H2, then our header, then we have the nav, the article. So let's continue. So clear floats after the columns. So let's call in our section. To say section after. So let's give it this format: content, then display table. So clear both. So let's style the footer. So let's call in our footer. So let's give it a background color. Let's give it this color. So let's give it a padding of 10 pixel. Text aligned to the center. So the text color we want to be white. So let's add the next thing. So responsive layout, we want to give it a responsive layout. Responsive layout makes the two columns show boxes. It makes the two columns show boxes stack on top of each other instead of next to each other on small screens. So we use at media. At media, then max, then the width. So maximum is 600 pixel. So meaning that if the width is if it's 600 pixel, so I send the nav, the article, I'm giving it width of 100%. So this page is just talking about how the website should display both on phone, mobile, and on desktop. So that's it. Will explain better at the end. So let's reload. Okay, do what we've done so far, but there are a lot of spaces, so we'll try to use the second method I said. So let's add more to the paragraph. So this paragraph was saying resize the browser window to see the responsive effect. So if you want to actually see the effect on your desktop or on your phone, you can resize the screen. On your mobile, you can change the view to desktop. Then your laptop, you can resize the screen so that you can see the difference it will make on both phone and on desktop. So resize the browser window to see the responsive effect. So you have to take note of this. So let's reload. We've added a paragraph to our H2, to our paragraph rather. So we're trying to resize. So this is our navigation. This is our article. So let's add to the paragraph in our article. So standing on the river, Thames, London has been a major settlement for 2 millennia. Its history going back to its founding by the Romans. Who named it London? Who named it Londinium? So let's reload. So we've added another paragraph. So like I said, we will use two types of formats. Okay, I think there's something we didn't do right here. The list style. The list style should, that colon should not be there. Should be hyphen. Let's reload. Let's see. So it has removed those bullets. So this is what we have so far. So let's try to use the second format or layout, the second styling. So we'll remove this create two column boxes. We'll use another type of styling. Another way to style it. So let's delete. Alright. So let's bring a comment. So let's say container for Flexbox. Container for Flexboxes. So we are putting that in the comment. So for the Flexboxes, so let's call our section. So let's say display hyphen then WebKit Flex. So we'll explain all this at the end of the video. We'll explain better. So display Flex So let's bring another comment. So let's style the navigation menu. So this is another way to style it, and this is a better way. That is why we are doing this again, so you see the difference. So after styling the header, we have container for flex boxes, then we now have style the navigation menu. So let's call in our nav. So let's say WebKit Flex. We are giving it a value of 1. So display flex is a CSS property used for creating a flexible container that can dynamically adjust its content in response to the available space. Okay, when you set an element's display property to flex, it turns into a container that contains flex items. So when you turn the display to flex, it turns into a container that contains flex items. So the flex items inside the container can be arranged horizontally or vertically, and you can control how much space each item should take. So that's why we're using display flex. However, not all browsers support the flex property, so we use WebKit Flex. As you can see, we're using WebKit Flex as a fallback for the WebKit prefix. So this prefix is specific to the WebKit rendering engine used in some browsers like Safari and older versions of Chrome. So in summary, display flex is used to create a container that has a flexible content and works in different browsers. So actually explaining the first one we did, the display, which is WebKit Flex. Display flex, okay, is used to create a container that has a flexible content and works in different browsers. So in where we are now, style the navigation menu, we gave it a WebKit Flex of 1, MS Flex of 1, and Flex 1. There are CSS properties used to control the size and layout of flex items within a flex container. So I give the background, then padding of 20 pixels. So these properties specify the amount of available space that a flex item should occupy along the main axis, either horizontally or vertically. The value 1 means that the item should take up as much available space as possible, while a value of 0 means that the item should not take up any available space at all. So the background #CCC property sets the background color of the flex item to light gray. while padding 20 pixel adds 20 pixel of padding to the inside of the item. Overall, these properties are used to style the flex items within a flex container, controlling their size and layout to create the desired design. So here we're trying to style in this place now we're trying to style the article, the content further. So calling our article, so for the nav UL, this selects the unordered list UL inside the navigation menu nav and applies the following styles. List style type none, it removes the bullet points from the list items. Padding 0, removes any padding, empty space from the list. So article, this selects the article element and applies the following. So we're actually talking about this place now. So the article, selects the article element and applies the following styles. So we said WebKit Flex 3, MS Flex 3, Flex 3, right? And those ones actually set the element to take up 3 times as much space as the navigation menu in the Flex Plus layout. So background color of F1, F1, F1 sets the background color of the content section to a light gray. Padding 10 pixel adds a 10 pixel padding around the content. So this style the footer. The footer selects the footer element and applies the following styles. Give it a background color of #777. It sets the background color of the footer to dark gray. Padding to 10 pixel adds 10 pixel padding around the footer. Text align center, centers the text inside the footer. Color white, sets the color to white. So for the at media max with 600 pixel, this is a media query that applies the following styles when the maximum width of the screen is 600 pixel or less. So if the maximum width of the screen is 600 pixel or less, we said so that's how to actually start using the media query using the at media. So now let's give it we deleted the old one that was there. Let's now style it. We said at media max hyphen width 600 pixel. This is a media query that applies the following styles when the maximum width of the screen is 600 pixel or less. So if the maximum screen size it is 600 pixel or less, this following will happen. So we are giving our section, we are selecting our section. Section selects the section element and applies the following styles. So WebKit Flex direction, we set column, okay, flex direction, set column. So if this the screen size has a maximum of 600 pixel or less, this is what's going to happen. So let's reload. So this is what we have so far. So WebKit Flex direction column, flex direction column changes the layout from a row side by side to a column stacked on top of each other. So that's why when you zoom in the screen, instead of it to show in rows, it will show in column. So that's why we have difference between the view on phone and the view on desktop, view on mobile and view on. So let's come again with the explanation. Okay, so we started with box sizing. We said it should be border box. The body, we are given to a font family of Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. So we are saying style the header. We said the background color should be that color, then padding should be 30 pixel, text align center, font size should be 35 pixel, color white. So container for Flexbox, we said display should be WebKit Flex, then display should be Flex. So display Flex is a CSS property used for creating a flexible container that can dynamically adjust its content in response to the available space. When you set an element display property to Flex, it turns into a container that contains flex items. The flex items inside the container can be arranged horizontally or vertically, and you can control how much space each item should take. However, not all browsers support the flex property, so we use WebKit Flex as a fallback for the WebKit prefix. This prefix is specific to the WebKit rendering engine used in some browsers like Safari and older versions of Chrome. So in summary, display WebKit Flex, display Flex is used to create a container that has flexible content and works in different browsers. So the next thing is talking about style the navigation menu, right? Okay, so WebKit Flex of 1, MS Flex of 1 and Flex 1 are CSS properties used to control the size and layout of flex items within a container. These properties specify the amounts of available space that a flex item should occupy along the main axis, either horizontally or vertically. The value of 1 means that the item should take up as much available space as possible, while a value of 0 means that the item should not take up any available space at all. So that's the navigation there. So the background color of ccc property sets the background color to the flex item to light gray, while padding 20 pixel adds 20 pixel of padding to the inside of the item. So overall, these properties are used to style the flex items within a flex container, controlling their size and layout to create a desired design. Okay, so talking about style the list inside the menu, the nav, okay, that place. So this section selects the unordered list UL inside the navigation menu nav and applies the following styles. So list style type, we set none. It removes the bullet points from the list items. We give it a padding of 0. It removes any padding empty space from the list. So the next one is to style the content. In case you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do so. Leave a comment, give a like, and kindly share the video. So the next thing is style the content. So the article there, the article there. This selects the article element and applies the following styles: WebKit Flex 3, MX Flex 3, Flex 3. Sets the element to take up 3 times as much space as the navigation menu. So as you can see, this article actually takes a larger space than the navigation menu. Takes up 3 times as much space as the navigation menu in a flexbox layout. The background, which is hash F1 F1 F1, sets the background color of the content section to a light gray. So padding 10 pixel has a 10 pixel padding. So as you can see, the article section is very large, that's 3 times larger. Okay, so padding 10 pixel adds 10 pixel padding around the content. So let's talk about the footer. This selects the footer element and applies the following styles: background color hash 777 semicolon. It sets the background color of the footer to dark gray. So padding 10 pixel has a 10 pixel padding around the footer. Text align center. Text align center centers the text inside the footer, so it will make the footer to be at the center. So color white sets the text color to white. So as you can see, our footer is white. So the last thing there is at media max with 600 pixel. Okay, so we say this is a media query that applies the following styles when the maximum width of the screen is 600 pixel or less. So for example, on a phone, when the screen size is 600 pixel or less, this is what's going to happen. The section selected selects the section element and applies the following styles: WebKit Flex direction, we set column. So if the screen size is 600 pixel or less, the WebKit Flex direction will be column, flex direction column, and this changes the layout from a row side by side to a column stacked on top of each other. So you can zoom in your screen to see the difference. So that's all for the explanation. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly subscribe and give a like. Turn on your notification bell and kindly leave a comment. Tell me the types of videos you want me to upload. Thank you for listening. Hope you understand everything. You can go over this video again in case you don't understand any part, and you can always comment by leaving a question. Thank you very much. So this is all we have done. So you can edit this into the type of website you want. Kindly subscribe, like and comment. Thank you very much.